Welcome back to another episode of Jam with the
Boys.
Today's episode, we're covering a few topics. We're going to go through a Date My Brother update, a restaurant review that we just finished and we're absolutely stuffed from.
Stuffed.
A little bit of Willy Pickton, a little controversial relationship questions, the downtown Eastside, Vanderpump Rules, and a new segment called...
that really grinds my gears.
Grind My Gears. As well as some 90s nostalgia. Today's topic is...
Movies.
Let's chat about Date My Brother updates. So last weekend you had your first 15 dates.
Yes, I did. Yes. Yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, there was a few that I found a connection with. I mean, everyone was great. Let's get that straight. Everyone was amazing. We all had great conversations. The whole experience was great, I thought. And
so you were going to narrow it down to 10, but essentially you thought you found 4 strongest connections that you didn't want to waste anyone else's time. Is that correct?
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
So tomorrow we have our 4 30-minute Zoom dates. So we're going straight to 4. And then after that, you'll have some time to chat with them. Then we'll narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3. And then we're going to do in person. We just did a restaurant review at a Sports Illustrated bar.
Yeah, big shout out. I mean, we're pretty stoked about it because, well, it's one of my dreams, but I think we share the dream and we might share it with a lot of people actually. But just to sit down and review food and just be yourself. And I don't know, I've been a foodie kind of forever. I hate that term, but I just
we're
love
all big foodies, I think.
I just love food. And we were all pretty stoked that someone has reached out after 2 food videos that we've put out. The opportunities are coming slowly, but surely they're coming.
And that's our favorite kind of content to film.
Yeah, because it's really easy and who doesn't love food? So, yeah, big shout out to the Sports Illustrated Clubhouse. And yeah, they invited us out and said that they have a new burger menu. It's called Burger Mania Mondays. They have plays on all the best burgers, all the burgers that I absolutely love. They have a burger based on the Whopper.
It'll be out by the time this podcast comes out.
So they have a burger that we tried called the Big Manu. It's a football player from UBC. He's an alumni. I think he was in the draft this year. He went to the Combine. It's the first guy to ever go to the Combine. I do know that a UBC player for the first time ever, one of them went to the NFL
you are
Combine.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. You're right.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is the actual burger, that the Big Manu. I think he was Samoan or so that would make sense. That's the only reason why I'm trying to put the math together here. And then they have the Walloper. It's a play on the Whopper. Very good. They have the Attack Mac, which is a play on the Big Mac. They have Baconizer, which is a play on the Baconator.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, very, very good. It's like a smash burger with a bunch of bacon. Who doesn't love just a simple burger with bacon?
It was delicious.
The best.
Yeah.
And the buns. I thought the buns were just fantastic.
Yeah, so we tried 4 burgers, and then we also tried the fries. We tried the regular waffle fries just to get a feel for what they tasted like. They let us choose, but they had some recommendations. I think they had 6 or 7 burgers on the burger menu, the Mania menu. And we tried 4 of them. And then we tried 3 different fries. So like I said, the original waffle fries. And then we tried the nacho fries. And we also tried the Big Mac fries.
I like the Big Mac fries.
I like the nacho fries.
The Big Mac fries were amazing.
The little smash burger bits in there.
So good.
I thought the whole place was just a great environment too. The sports that were playing, they had the UFC going, they had baseball going, big screens. It was a great environment, I thought.
And they also had the Empress Gin pop-up, so we got to try a few gin drinks. I don't think that's there very often, but it was delicious.
Very strong. Have you seen the documentary Pig?
No. On
It's
Netflix?
not a documentary.
Oh, Biodoc?
It's so bad. They could have done such a better job.
In what sense?
It was pretty nuts,
It's just
though.
it's poorly produced. They could have done a way better job with the acting and the way they did the whole movie. You could tell that it was low budget.
That's unfortunate. Well, I did a little bit of research on Robert Pickton. I'll give you guys a rundown. So in 2001, Robert Pickton was charged with murdering 26 women at his pig farm in Port Coquitlam, BC, which is about half an hour from here.
Yeah.
He was convicted on 6 charges and sentenced to life in prison. Pickton claimed to have killed 49 women. His case was the largest serial killer investigation in Canadian history. It was also a flashpoint in the wider issue of missing and murdered Indigenous women. Vancouver's downtown Eastside is known for its high rates of poverty, homelessness, open drug use, and prostitution. Pickton was familiar with the downtown Eastside as he disposed his animal parts at the rendering plant down there. He would often cruise the 10-block strip, offering women money and drugs. He often took women back to his farm. Between 1978 and 2001, at least 65 women were reported missing from the downtown Eastside. Many people in that area were estranged from their families, so disappearances went unnoticed. He died of injuries sustained in an attack. The 74-year-old was in hospital after being the target of a major assault by a fellow inmate on May 19th at the maximum security prison in Quebec. He was in a medically induced coma and on life support for days before he died. And this was just before he was considered to be released on parole.
I think
Yeah,
so, yeah.
yeah.
It's just wild because I feel like not a lot of Americans would know about this serial killer story, but there's a lot of famous serial killers in the States. But this is probably our most famous, and it's really close to home.
Infamous.
But yeah, he used to have these huge parties in Port Coquitlam, yeah.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he would party on the Pickton farm. They didn't know that he was a serial killer, obviously. He would just
Right.
have like big parties out at the Pickton farm.
He had a pig farm?
Yeah.
He would like chop up the women and like feed them to his pigs.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's how he got rid of the bodies. He would feed them to his pigs.
Yeah, and also what you were saying, he probably took some of the body parts to the rendering plant if they're like kind of unrecognizable, but I think everything else he fed to his pigs.
It's crazy because we'll touch on the downtown east side. I guess we can segue into that. But from his point of view, it's so sad how that would make the most sense considering it goes so unnoticed, people on the downtown east side that go missing.
Yeah, and that's why like it took so long for him to get caught, because women and men go missing all the time from the downtown east side. It's really sad just because of the state of that quote unquote skid row down there, just the rampant drug use.
But also, like, their parents or their family members really don't know where they are.
Yeah, they might know where they are, but they probably, I mean, those people have like very serious drug addiction. So that the family, they've probably already tried. Either they don't have family or the family's already probably put all their resources into getting their son or brother or whoever it may be, their father back. And now they're kind of at their end, you know, and they go down to the east side and they kind of just live on the street down there in a huge homeless community. It's all based on drug use. So someone going missing from down there is
Not
uncommon. But do you know the details of how Willy died?
No, do you?
Yeah, he got a sharpened broomstick through the eye, stabbed through his brain. As soon as it happened, I was like, oh, when they said like he's on life support, I knew that,
Guy's
yeah,
dead.
he's dead.
I'm surprised he made it this long without getting killed, honestly.
Yeah, me too. He was probably in
So
protective for
crazy.
a while, and maybe to your point, him possibly getting parole might have put him in a lower,
But how does
not a
anyone
lower
get
security.
parole?
I was just thinking that. How the fuck does someone like that get parole?
Canada.
Yeah.
Like, you can murder that many people and just be like, I served this many years. I'm going to get out at 74 now. What?
Canada.
Canada. Well, not rest in peace. I hope you're burning in hell, Robert Pickton. You can eat my ass. Seriously, fuck you.
Oh, goddamn.
You guys have any words for Robert Pickton?
You said it. You said it all, buddy.
I wish
Not
I
Free
could
Willy.
feed him to the pigs. Fucking goof. Little rat goof.
Rat goof.
So we can touch on the downtown east side. Essentially, if you're not familiar with the downtown east side, it started in the 1980s. The provincial government adopted a policy of deinstitutionalization of the mentally ill, leading to the mass discharge of Riverview Hospital patients, with the promise that they would be integrated into the community. These mentally ill people essentially were dropped off
Yeah.
on the downtown east side. And the downtown east side was actually a pretty nice place before.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
had
was.
shops and
Woodwards.
buildings, and it was a nicer area. You know, I wasn't alive, but
Yes.
it was.
And so a previous senator, Larry Campbell, he's the former mayor of Vancouver, said, quote, "When we deinstitutionalized, we promised mentally ill people that we would put them into the community and give them the support they needed. But we full on lied. I think it's one of the worst things that we ever did." Between 1980 and 2002, more than 60 women went missing from the downtown east side, most of them sex workers, a large number of missing and murdered Indigenous women, linking to the Robert Pickton case. In 2023, the homeless count in Vancouver was estimated to be 5,000 people. This is up 32% from 2020.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's insane. 5,000 people?
When I played for the Kamloops Blazers in the Western Hockey League, we did this program called the EDGE program. So what we did was we partnered with some police officers that were from Kamloops, and then we came down here and went directly to the police detachment station closest to the east side. And we met a bunch of police officers there, and they kind of gave us a little rundown of the east side. And me being a player from Vancouver, I kind of already knew, but it was mostly 19 and 20-year-olds. I think we had a couple guys from Europe that came with us and a couple guys from back east. They were really stunned because they kind of gave us some safety stuff to go over, but we walked with unmarked police officers, like they weren't wearing uniforms, but they were known to downtown. We did a walkthrough of the east side just to like see what people were up to and what they were doing. And the idea behind the EDGE program at the time was, as hockey players and leaders of the community, we would go and experience like what's going on down there and what it leads to, because there's people of all walks of life from all over Canada down on the Eastside, because it's the easiest place to get drugs, and it's a full-on like community of homeless people, like I said before. But what we did is the EDGE program was to take our knowledge back to elementary schools, take some photos. So that was a very interesting experience. So they took us down the east side and through all the back alleys, and they actually took us to like watch people shoot up, basically. So like we get to like talk to the people on the east side in a safe environment and ask like where they're from. Like I met a doctor who was down there, and he started on prescription pills, like writing himself prescriptions for like pain meds, and then he got onto heroin and then lost everything, lost his family. There's all different walks of life from every single aspect. It's wild.
Wow.
So crazy.
Yeah, and I watched like a 19-year-old girl shoot up. Like we were having a conversation with her before, and then she shot up, and it was like watching a balloon deflate. Like if you're holding the balloon and it slowly deflates. Like she went from literally from standing up talking to us, shooting up, like while we were kind of at the door and looking through this like motel kind of thing. And yeah, by the end, she was just like fully curled up on the floor.
Jesus.
So yeah,
so eye-opening.
It was an eye-opening experience, but what a shame, Gordon Ramsay style,
Yes, chef.
to shut down Riverview, because yeah, it was
A mental hospital.
yeah.
I was like talking to this guy who had come to visit in Vancouver, and he said, can we drive down? I've heard so many things. But
Yeah.
he wanted to drive down East Hastings because he said, I couldn't even fathom the fact that this is a real thing. And
Yeah.
I'd like to see somebody else see it for the first time.
Keep your arms and limbs inside the vehicle.
Yeah,
at
like
all
you have to have your
times.
doors locked.
They will bite.
They will come up to your doors.
Yeah, it's really wild. And I've talked to a few people where their parents, if they found out that they were doing drugs, like when we were kids, they would take them down there and like let them out and like walk the street with them. And they would be so scared. This is what happens when you do drugs, and this is what it leads to. And these are regular people. These used to be kids your age, just to scare the shit out of them.
I'm sure it would scare the shit out of them.
But it is wild. If you've never seen it, it's like nothing I've ever seen. I've traveled all over the United States, and I've been to Europe and
We'll put a few photos
and
up.
Asia, and it's like nothing I've ever seen.
You can't even comprehend it until you see it in person.
And I hate to say that it's a tourist attraction, but if you come to Vancouver and you want to see something absolutely wild and sad, it is very eye-opening.
And the fact that it's all legal now, I'm sure it's just tenfold. I would be interested to see what these numbers are after this pilot project is completed. From 2020, it's up 32%. 5,000 people is a lot.
It's pretty crazy. And the fact that, I know we touched on this last time, but the fact that someone can just shoot up right along the seawall here, someone can just legally shoot up, but I can't just bring a beer from the fridge down and sit on the grass and have a beer.
Makes zero
And
sense.
cops will actively harass you if you're having a beer on the beach or
And
on
probably
the
ticket you,
grass.
too.
And you can have a guy literally sitting 1 foot from me, and the guy's shooting up or smoking crack, and the cop legally can't do anything. It's wild. It's just so backwards.
Our system is backwards.
You think?
You know, that really grinds my gears.
I want to bring it back to our roots and talk a little bit of controversial relationship questions, because this is where it all started.
Yeah, it
and
is.
we've kind of fallen off of our relationship advice.
Okay.
Welcome back to another episode of Jam with the
Boys.
We're going to ask my brothers, do you agree or disagree with these controversial relationship opinions? So do you agree or disagree that you and your partner should have the passwords to each other's phone and social media accounts?
I think it's kind of nuanced a little bit. Gaining your partner's password to their phone is probably just something that comes about. It's not something that I'm like, hey, listen, I need your password.
Totally.
But like, just in passing, like I'll hand my phone to my girl. If she doesn't know the password, I'll just tell her the password. She'll know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't go
But, like-
demanding password requests.
Yeah, I think that's really kind of...
Insecure.
It's insecure, but it's also showing them that you don't trust them, maybe? Like right off the hop. Maybe if they've done something wrong, like, okay, if you want to get back together with me, this is what I need from you. Even then, it's kind of toxic. But like getting your person's password and passing and like knowing it, I don't think you necessarily
everything.
need social media password.
I think
so
that's
that,
ridiculous.
so that they can log onto your social media from their phone.
No, that's ridiculous. I
Yeah,
think.
Yeah, that is insane.
You should not be together if you're having to go through those hoops.
totally.
Do you agree or disagree that couples do not need to have similar interests to be compatible?
I don't think they need to have all similar interests, but like you need to have something that you both enjoy doing, like going to the gym.
I think it's great. if you don't have similar interests. It's important to have a really good balance. I think that's what makes for a good relationship, because they could get you into things that you probably maybe never thought you'd be into, and vice versa for them. Then the things that you do share in common, you can do together and really enjoy them. And they can probably show you things that you do enjoy doing together, new ways of looking at them or thinking about them. So I think that's really important.
I like that. Do you agree or disagree that a good personality is always more attractive than good looks?
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, it's probably way more important, but I have to be physically attracted to them first. Like, you got to be physically attracted to someone to build that personal connection, I think.
It definitely, the physical attraction is probably what starts the relationship. I mean, not in all cases, but if you're starting from scratch, it's probably the physical attraction that you feel towards them, that instant feeling when you look at them. You're physically attracted to them. You don't know them at all mentally, but once you get to know them, it's very important. I think we've touched on this before, how important it is to
have a good
personality.
In heterosexual relationships, the man should always be the one to propose.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree. You would not in this lifetime or the next catch me on one fucking knee.
If some girl got
Yeah.
down on you, I'd be like, no, stop.
I feel like you better be getting down on the other. You better be halfway between movements here, babe.
That's so fucked.
Oh my God, family show.
I'm joking, but no, I don't want.
I would say get up. Stop it.
It's giving desperate.
Yeah.
Like, you can't wait.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't want to, he won't.
Just drop some hints, babe.
Yeah, there's good things on ring sites that you can look on. It literally says on all the ring things, drop a hint. So you can
Stop.
anonymously put their email in, that send them that ring specifically, and it not come from anyone.
I like that. Noted.
You can't be doing that.
Men always propose. Yes.
Yeah.
Someone asked me if I'm going to be sharing my dating life. I cut it out on the last episode.
You did?
Yeah.
The fucking...
I had to.
You can't.
I literally had to, because
Why?
it's different when I'm actually dating somebody versus first dates. I'm still talking to him. We are not even making money from this yet. I don't want to jeopardize maybe something.
This is what Alex Cooper did. You got to do it. You
Okay.
got to do it. You're going to get us to talk about relationship stuff. You got to do it.
I will.
100%.
I just feel
What do you feel?
Well, get used to it,
it's
babe.
going to depend on the person.
We had some good jokes, and now you're going to cut them out?
Cut them all out.
No, you guys, it was just so mean.
No, it's not.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
If he wants to be part of this gang, he's gonna have to get used to it.
So that's the thing, is I will know depending on the person if it's somebody that I can crack jokes with, and he wasn't.
You're
that.
just worried about...
I'm not. I'm
You
honestly
are.
not.
Yeah, then what's the issue?
Because I felt bad for this guy. We were
Felt bad about what?
I was chatting shit about him, saying
we
that
weren't
he's a
chatting
little
shit
bitch
about
boy,
him.
basically.
I wasn't saying bitch boy.
We never said bitch boy ever.
Basically.
I just said
Basically,
about
it's not the same.
Anyways, a relationship only becomes exclusive once the other asks you to be their partner. Once you have that chat.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You have to have the conversation. It's the whole point of being a boyfriend and girlfriend.
That's how I've always gone about it.
Conversation?
No,
No conversation.
No.
No.
just falls into place.
But that leaves it confusing for your other person.
I guess. If you're on a different train of thinking, then yes.
I think it's being on the same page. That's the conversation.
So I'm learning now that it's a necessary conversation to have. Otherwise, if someone doesn't think the same as you, then you need to express that that's how you're feeling.
I also feel like you keep your cards very close to your chest. Even though you might feel in your mind you're exclusive, you're very hard to read. So the other person might not be able to see that.
Yeah, I think because the way in my mind I think about someone while I'm pursuing them, or while I think we're taking those steps to be dating, it's because I personally don't do those things unless we are dating or we are moving in that direction and essentially being that boyfriend girlfriend type thing. I'm not taking some random out to nice dinners multiple days a week. I either know or I don't pretty well right away.
I feel like I'm the same as well. I don't want to waste anyone's time,
Yeah.
including my own. I can tell within the first date or two, and I'll cut it off real quick.
Yeah, and I think it's a maturity thing too for me. If I'm inviting you to my house and we're both sober and we're cooking dinner together and stuff, we're dating now.
Wow.
Wow. I like that. Don't waste my time.
Yeah, I'm not doing this with you if we're not. And that's just in my mind. And I realize some people need conversations about that, but I didn't really...
Because a lot of
didn't
people aren't
recognize
like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is unfortunate now. I feel like I can weed people out quite quickly, and I try to do so. I don't go on a lot of first dates, but
Huh?
2 first dates this year. Jordan thinks I'm a literal serial dater.
How many
I
first
don't-
dates do you think you had last year?
Maybe 4?
In a year and a half, you've had 7 first dates.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
I've seen like things have progressed with like 3
No,
or 4.
you've had more this year.
Who?
Fucking boy. Maybe that's your problem. Maybe you just forget about these first dates.
No,
And keep
because
it in.
because
Boy deserves to make it to the pod. He's a beautiful human being. He's a nice guy. But
he is such a precious gem of a man, and he deserves the absolute world. And
yeah, I've heard good things about him.
he's such a sweetie, and I appreciate you if you ever see this. And I'm sorry. I either feel it with somebody or I
You
don't.
already forgot about him. You didn't even realize you went on a first date. You're like, I went on 2 dates. That's it.
I feel
And this
so
guy
bad.
this guy honestly thought you was a big part of your life.
I told John, I think like I thought this guy was God sent to me. He was absolutely perfect in every way. I just couldn't feel that chemistry and that connection, and that's so important for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So I feel bad, and God bless you, sir.
Bless you, sir. God bless you, but sayonara, Sydney Stefan.
So, disagree or agree? Cheating is unforgivable.
It's a tough one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you spill it.
Personally, I was in a relationship when I was younger, and I was cheated on. And we broke up for a little bit and we got back together. And I think that when you're older, it's a choice. And when we were together as young as we were, I think it's a mistake. I think you learn from your mistakes when you're young. I think that period it's just growing up.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you think is more forgivable? I'm not saying either of them are, but if you had to choose, what's more forgivable? Someone having an affair multiple times all the time, having an affair behind
the
your
same
back?
person?
Yeah, with the same person, like an actual affair.
Yeah.
Or a one night stand or making a mistake at the bar or something.
I definitely think an affair is a tenfold worse.
Oh, you do?
I just think because you're emotionally connected to that person, you clearly are hanging out with them sober. I think if you're drunk at a bar, it can happen as a mistake. I don't think it's necessarily forgivable, but I think an affair
Yeah.
is just like very unforgivable. Like you're
Yeah.
sharing
Yeah.
you're sharing your time with somebody else. You're making memories with somebody else.
I think it's very age dependent too, like you were saying, because what kind of like 40-year-old man is making a mistake at like a drunk mistake? you
yeah,
know?
it's embarrassing.
But I ask this because I've been seeing a therapist just preemptively in order to build more solid relationships with everyone in my life. Better relationships with you guys and relatives and friends and my girlfriend and just everyone just having a solid relationship. More of like a proactive kind of, not like I'm going there to try and fix something that's happened, but to gain knowledge to build better relationships in the future and have lasting relationships. So the reason why I ask is because I've cycled through a couple different relationship therapists just because some just like listen to me, and quite honestly, I'm not looking for them to listen to me. I'm looking for them to just give me tools because I'm not having a problem. Anyways, the reason why I'm bringing it up is because they're like, oh, when they realize that's what I'm trying to do, they're like, oh, we usually just listen to people because they've had an affair or they're trying to work through a cheating situation or they're trying to work through their relationship, whereas I'm just paying them to try and build stronger relationships for my future self.
Right.
My future
Right.
self. Just them bringing that up to me kind of prompted the question. Long story short, fuck.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting
That's
because
good, though.
that's really good. Being proactive in that situation. You don't want to have to get to that point where you need a therapist to
Yeah,
fix
exactly.
the problem.
To fix something, I would rather just be proactive and try and better myself. I do have some spare time. So if I can spare an hour every week to try and gain knowledge on how to, it's like reading a book, but you're actually getting it from the source of someone. And this guy that I deal with now, he's a Christian and he has 2 master's degrees and he's a clinical psychologist. So he has lots of different relationship tools and I have them written down. But he was just saying that you guys should practice fighting, practice arguing so you can get into a healthy argument. He was saying that his dad used to call him up and just be like, hey, we haven't argued in a while. Can we argue about something? And they pick something and then they argue about it. Something real in their life.
Some would consider it a debate.
A debate, but something that's might actually be bothering you. And you kind of argue about it and you practice it. And at least both parties know now that it's kind of like a run through. And you should never let your emotions get past a 6 out of 10, because past a 6, then you're just saying hurtful things or you're saying things you don't mean. And if you just stay below a 6, you're kind of in your rational mind. So you're thinking through what you're saying and you're trying to make fair points.
I guess that's also a hard thing to like figure out what your level's at. Like, how do you determine whether you're at a 6? Like, personally.
Because I think everyone's been at a 10.
Oh, and yeah, no, 100%. But like to find your 6 and like just find out where that threshold is for yourself.
Practice arguing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's sweet. That's good.
Yeah. And he said to always remember in an argument that the person you're arguing with is more important than the topic you're arguing about. no matter what it is. This is very improv-ish when they say yes and. He's like, always say yes and in an argument, not but or this or that, because if you're arguing about something important, like should the kids eat healthy, you hear them out and you say yes and I also think that this is important, not yes, but, because you're kind of dismissing what they're saying and then trying to prove your point, which brings me to my next point, is always trying to make it a priority to understand what they're saying instead of being understood.
I
So
like
if
that.
you're both on
like
the
that
same
too.
page and you're both trying to understand what each other is saying, it's very mutual. So you both have to have these tools in order to practice them. But to be more understanding than try to be understood is very important.
I like that.
Yeah. So they're all really good. This is the best guy I've ever had. He gave me a couple of Bible verses that really helped too. So
I love that. We'll bring your facts next time.
yeah, I will. I've only had one 45-minute conversation with this guy.
Wow.
Wow.
And I had a full page of notes.
Let's chat about grind my gears.
You know, that really grinds my gears.
It grinds my gears, just the whole fucking Met Gala thing and just the shebang. But I don't really know a whole lot about it. I just think whenever they host it and they show all these wild things and all these people are talking about how well this person's dressed and it's so obnoxious and so ridiculous. It's so outside of reality. It's just a bunch of rich people, famous people that are not living in regular people world. And
But it's all the Met Gala is put on by Anna Wintour, and she invites all the designers around the world, and the designer chooses which celebrity they want to wear their design, and every
Right.
year is like a different theme.
okay, yeah, that goes to show it's how much I know about it. But it's still like you see some of these outfits and you're like, what is that? Like one person looked like they were dressed all literally in tinfoil. Like, I'm not joking. It was like all tinfoil with like tinfoil. How do you market that to a regular person, or what is the point of this? To show like how wacky you can be? They're so wacky.
It's for designers to show their creative outlets for a different theme that year. I don't know what this past one, but the year before was like camp. So it's
Okay.
like very campy.
People do decide, oh, this was the winner of fucking Met Gala. Like this person was so well dressed, and this person, these are the don'ts, and these are the worst dressed. It's like they're judging themselves. So for me to be in the outside and judge it, I think it's all right. I mean,
I think it's okay.
it's ridiculous, but I get the creative outlet. I'm not an artist by any means. I respect the outlet to try and dress these people up, but the wackiness of it is
Too much.
just a little too much.
I want to forgive you, and I want to forget you. You know what that's from?
No.
What? It's like an iconic scene from The Hills.
Oh yeah.
Lauren
You were
Conrad.
really into The Hills growing up.
Oh my God. Religiously into The Hills.
Yeah.
You
You
were
were-
too.
Not as much as you. You had the DVDs, did you not?
Yeah.
I remember you just sheltering in your room upstairs and watching The Hills.
The Hills. It was so good.
Yeah. The only person I really respected out of that show was Justin Bobby. He's still a gem on Instagram. I follow him.
Do you?
Yeah, he's a gem.
Oh my God. Justin Bobby. Of course you follow him.
Yeah, he's such a gem. It's so good.
John
when he
act-
like farts and burps and shit all the time, and it's so good.
John got me a cameo of Spencer Pratt. I'll include it here.
Yeah, it's so good.
Merry Christmas. You know I brought out that bicolor tourmaline to celebrate with Jamie-Lynn and oh my gosh, you know this was booked by Pratt Daddy himself. Oh, hey, Tay-Tay's playing. OMG, Merry Christmas. I love you guys so much. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? And I check it twice. Woo! Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me do. Merry Christmas. Love you guys so much. Wish I was under the tree.
It was addressed
was-
to me
it-
and my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, because you guys were away for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And I got you a cameo from Spencer Pratt, and it was right in his, well, he's always pretty wacky, but Spencer Pratt was right in his crystal phase where he'd hold like crystals on his head, and he would sing the Taylor Swift song, ooh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. And it was so wacky, and I absolutely loved it, and I knew it would just kill you guys. It's so good.
It's so iconic. It was the last thing we were expecting to wake up to on Christmas morning. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was thinking of a gift to get you guys, and I didn't know what to get you.
It
A
was
cameo
incredible.
From Spencer Pratt is what I could come up with.
Yeah, that is amazing. Okay,
What's your gym grind my gears?
I have a
You know,
question.
that really grinds my gears.
I just have a question about gym etiquette. And so I was at the gym this morning and I had like a 60-pound, I don't know what it's called, but it's like
Dumbbell?
Barbell.
Or
barbell. And there was another bench beside me and it had some weights on it. I didn't see anyone there. This guy comes up to me and like, I'm in the middle of a set, whatever. He's like, oh, is anyone using this? And I was like, no, it's all good. It's all good. I'm in the middle of a set and he's like points at my 60-pound thing. And he's like, how many more do you have with that?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, just like 2 more sets. He's like, oh, do you mind if I do you mind if I just use it quickly?
Like, buddy, fuck off.
And I was like, and keep in mind, like I have my earphones, like I'm not taking my earphones off. I'm not trying to fucking chat with you.
Yeah.
I'm also in the middle of a set. Like you can't wait 2 minutes even. And so I'm like taking my thing like this and I have music playing. He's like, what are you listening to?
Yeah.
I'm literally in the middle of a set. I was like, Lil Baby. And obviously probably didn't expect me to say. He's like, oh, okay. Also just like, don't mind my form while I'm using this. I'm like, buddy, I'm not even trying to fucking talk to you. Like, get the fuck out of my face. Like,
yeah, he's obviously trying to make a move.
100%.
Like, that is not the way to do it while somebody's in the middle of a set.
I agree.
Like,
I don't know. I think the gym is something. I think people think I'm rude, and this is probably good if this goes online and people see it, because I think a lot of people think I might be rude or conceited or something. But when I'm in the gym, I have Mason's usually in daycare at the gym, and I'm head down, music on. I'll give like someone I see and I know really well like a fist bump or something on the way to like do my next thing, but I'm not there to chat. To your point, I absolutely hate when someone comes up to me and says, how many more sets you got? It's fine. I'll just tell them, but just wait. Is your gym routine that structured that you need to wait? Keep in mind, I go to a gym that's absolutely massive. To put it in perspective, there's probably 10 or 12 Olympic lifting platforms with like 2 bars each to them. So there's plenty of things to do there.
And my thing is like, sorry to cut you off. It's just like, okay, you were using this for 1 set. He was maybe using it for maybe not even 3 minutes. You can't find 65 or 55. You have to have 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even bigger pet peeve is when someone asks you how many sets you have left, and I tell them, oh, I just started. I got like 3 or 4 left. They'll be like, hey, can I jump in with you? And they start changing the weights and like working in with you. Now I'm like forced to speed up my workout or like work in with them. It's like, dude, just go fucking use something else.
If I'm not taking my earphones off and I'm literally going like this.
It probably took a lot of balls for him to even come up to you, but he's probably thinking like, oh, can I jump in there? Can I use that?
No, you can't.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's
I
not
will
the way
say,
to do it.
My gym that I go to is small, tiny, and it's pretty busy, and people superset, and that really chaps my ass. Like when it's a small, like my ass gets chapped.
That really chaps my ass.
It does. It really does. Because like everyone's just working out, and there's 2 guys in the gym are like bouncing around, like cable here, dumbbells here, bunch here, and I'm just like, fuck this guy. I just go right to his machine that he just left and just start working out. Because I'm like, dude, this is a small gym. You can't be supersetting shit. Like,
Yeah,
that
agreed.
really grinds me.
Yeah.
Chapped.
I think you should just contain yourself to a little corner. That's what I do.
Just do one thing at a time.
yeah.
Don't superset things around the gym if it's a small gym.
Here's what the responsible thing is to do. If you want to superset 3 machines, you work out with 3 buddies. If you want to superset 2 machines, you work out with 2 friends. If you want to superset by yourself, don't.
Don't fucking do it.
Just do your exercise and then move on to the next machine.
Oh, and another thing. There's only 1 leg extension, and this girl's sitting there for like, I gave her like 5 minutes on her phone, just sitting there on her phone, and there's only 1, and it's my leg day, and I'm just sitting there waiting patiently.
Yeah, not asking, hey, can I jump in?
No, and then I go up to her and I do say, how much longer are you gonna be on here? She's like, oh, I'm just marking down my sets. I'll be done in a second. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, can go mark down your sets somewhere else.
Yeah, like stand up in a neutral space.
Don't take up the 1 machine to mark down your notes where you're doing 5 pounds on a leg extension, you old bag. Oh, God. Yeah, see, now that really grinds my gears. Starting to get a little chapped here.
Really try to not talk to people, but there was 2 leg extensions and I was on one I wasn't sitting there. Like I don't sit on my phone. I get in and out. And this guy comes up to me and he's like, can I jump in after you're done and we'll go back and forth? I was like, oh, I'm just finishing up. I wasn't, but there was another fucking machine right next to me, the same one.
Oh, that's annoying too.
And I was like, bro, now I'm cut my workout early.
I feel like that might happen a lot to girls. I would never, but yeah, like I said, I think people think I'm an asshole at the gym because I don't talk to anyone. I barely wave to anyone. I'm head down. I'm there to do like an hour workout and I'm out. If you see me at the coffee shop or something, I'm down to have a conversation in my leisurely time, but I'm there to work out.
Welcome back to another episode of Jam with the
Boys.
We're covering 90s nostalgia today, and the topic is
Movies. First of all, do you guys have any movies from the 90s that stick out?
Sandlot. Just 'cause
Sandlot. Yeah, the
just-
Sandlot's a good one.
I've
watched
never
it
heard
last
of it.
night. What?
Couple of like my favorite movies.
Jack?
First of all, Titanic.
Oh my God. Titanic is my number one movie.
It came out in 1997, so I was 6 years old, and I saw it in theaters with mom in Port Alberni when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, sat through a 3-hour movie. I remember I was not traumatized, but I remember just having this seared image in my brain, even at 6 years old, seeing when they turned the person over, when they're looking for bodies. Is anyone out there? Hello, is anyone out there?
Anybody
And they
alive out
turn,
there?
they go back, and then they turn the body over, and it's like dead frozen, and
Yeah.
the eyes are open. Oh man, that freaked me out
Spooked you.
as a 6-year-old. Yeah.
I love it. Can you please do that quote?
Put the diamond in the coat and I put the coat on her.
I love that movie.
Also, another one that I saw like right when it came out.
Put the diamond in the coat and I put the coat on her. So good.
Another really nostalgic movie for me is because I saw it when it first came out, and I've watched it a couple times in the last few years. And it was out in 1999, a science fiction film. It was The Matrix.
Oh, so
Keanu
sick.
Reeves.
And it is wild to watch now. If you haven't seen it, Jamie, in a while.
I was driving home the other day because I used Glitch in the Matrix, and I was like, I should really get educated.
Okay, rewatch The Matrix and tell me that it's not so far ahead of its time. It's so far ahead of its time because these days you could actually
What's the
see-
premise?
You could make that movie now. And
the
it'd be,
premise
like,
is that
unbelievable.
everyone is living in the Matrix. So the Matrix is just a made up thing to make everyone feel like they are.
Like a simulation?
It's like a simulation. Yeah, that's the Matrix.
Okay.
And they're like trapped in the Matrix. And Morpheus finds Neo because he's trying to find someone that can defeat the machines. So he finds Neo and brings him out of the Matrix into the real world. And basically he shows Neo the real world, and it's like the machines have completely taken it over. There was like nuclear war, so it's like completely clouded over, and everything, the cities are all completely fucked. He's like, yes, you've been living in the Matrix. And like he's showing them, and he's like, our job is to try and defeat the machines, like the machines in the real world. And so they can plug into the Matrix, and they plug in to a computer, and they can learn all these different things inside the Matrix. So they can basically download how to fight and how to use guns. They can download guns, and they're trying to fight the viruses inside the Matrix, which are the agents. And they're also battling these sentinels that are actually in the real world because they live in the underworld, and they have like a ship called the Nebuchadnezzar.
Okay.
And these sentinels are trying to destroy all the humans that are trying to fight against the machines.
I
Okay.
will say
But
that
it
that was
is
a
wild.
That was a great description.
Thanks.
Like that was bang on.
I don't even need to watch it now.
No. Really damn good.
You need
I was like surprised. I was like, holy shit! Like
I felt like I was there.
I'm,
I'm becoming a better storyteller as the podcast goes on.
Wow.
I'm not using the word like as much.
Yeah.
Like.
That was good.
Another classic 90s movie, 1993, Steven Spielberg, about dinosaurs.
Jurassic Park.
Yep, 1993, Jurassic Park.
I had no idea that was Steven Spielberg.
I'm just going to list a few now. Also, Steven Spielberg, remember when we did TV shows and I said Pinky and the Brain? Mm-hmm. That's a Steven Spielberg.
Wow. There's another one that I like. It's Tom Hanks.
Forrest
Castaway?
Gump?
No.
Castaway.
No.
Doubtfire?
Shawshank.
Oh, that's not Tom Hanks.
Who is it?
Morgan Freeman.
I said it would take a man 10,000 years to break out of this here prison.
I think it is Tom Hanks.
Took Andy Dufresne.
Matt Damon.
Is it
not
Matt
Matt
Damon?
Damon. It's not Matt
Who is
Damon.
it?
Also, Matt Damon and Robin Williams.
Goodwill Hunting.
Yep.
I saw a clip of. I've never seen Goodwill Hunting. I wanted to.
So good.
It looked good. Rest in peace, Robin.
Tim
Williams.
Robbins. Andy Dufresne. Morgan Freeman.
I don't know why.
Red.
I would feel called to watch that movie then if I didn't know anyone on it.
Andy Dufresne did it in only 3 months.
That's my Morgan Freeman.
That was good.
Said it would take a man 10,000 years to break out of this hair from
What?
It's getting worse.
Sounds like you're having a stroke. What Morgan Freeman movie is seared in your brain seeing him for the first time? Do you have one?
Seeing him for the first time?
I think mine was Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, Bruce Almighty, for sure.
Bruce.
Such a good when he
What about
the spoon.
Yeah.
Is Matilda a 90s show, a movie?
Oh, I had one.
Get it back.
That was so good too.
This is why Jordan doesn't talk a lot on the pod because he just loses his thoughts.
Okay, I'm just going to list a couple more iconic ones. The Blair Witch Project.
Spooky
That
stuff.
was iconic. That was like the first like horror film that came out in like a documentary style where they were like holding the cameras. When did it come out?
Not a fan.
Blair Witch Project, 1999. So there wasn't a whole lot of internet at the time, like easy access to Google. And I think some people watched the movie and thought that it might be real.
I did.
And another movie that was like that was kind of in like a league of its own was Paranormal Activity, where it was filmed
Oh, that was
home video
sketchy.
style.
Yeah, you will not catch me in watching any of that.
Space Jam, 1996.
What
Dumb
about-
and Dumber, 1994. Mrs. Doubtfire,
Classic.
Mrs.
1993.
Doubtfire is
What about,
Oh, I watched it the other night with May.
what about Matilda?
That's what I just said.
Oh.
that the one that was?
No, it wasn't the one I was thinking of.
If we have enough camera.
We have The Truman Show. We have Aladdin, Sandlot, Independence Day, Toy Story, and Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2, I think I saw in theaters in 1999. Men in Black, The Big Lebowski, The Lost World, The Mask,
Oh, so
Mask.
good. I watched that the other day, actually.
Cameron Diaz.
Harry Potter, and The Sorcerer's Stone.
That was in the 90s?
I didn't know this, but the name of the movie was changed in North America to The Philosopher's Stone. Or was it changed to The Sorcerer's Stone? Anyways, one or the other was originally the book's name. And I think the producers thought it was too,
Spooky?
I don't know, something to do with
Witchcraft?
something. Yeah, and they changed it to The Philosopher's Stone in North America.
Interesting. What movies do you guys remember just from being young? I remember Crossroads and Grease was my thing.
Oh, Grease. Yeah, that was a good one.
Early 2000s was actually The Sorcerer's Stone, but probably more your realm is, James, is School of Rock,
Love it.
Oh,
2003. Napoleon Dynamite, 2004.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
but you're going to throw a pigskin a quarter mile. God damn it, Napoleon. Tina, get over here and eat your ham.
Tina.
Talking to chicks online. What have you been doing all day, Napoleon?
Filter Pedro. What year was Ace Ventura?
I don't know.
Pet Detective?
Uh-huh. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yeah, that was the first one, and the second one was the first one was Nature Calls, and the second one was
Pet Detective.
Pet Detective. We also are looking for embarrassing relationship stories from people
Oh,
Yes.
to read them on the pod. They can be anonymous, and if you have a really embarrassing,
We have one submission.
yeah, we do.
All right, let's get to the reading.
All right, this is a submission from one of the fans. Hey guys, I love the podcast. Watch all the clips on TikTok, and I've recently been following the podcast on YouTube. So thank you for watching. Just wanted to share the most embarrassing thing that happened to me recently. It was a first date. So I met this guy, Dave, on a dating app. Who knows if that's a real name? We had great chemistry chatting online and decided to meet up for dinner. The evening started off well. We were having an amazing time laughing. Good conversation was flowing. About halfway through the dinner, I started to feel a bit uneasy. I realized I needed to find a bathroom and fast. As soon as I got to the bathroom, my stomach basically exploded.
Did you write this in?
Let's just say it was loud and awful. Yeah, George, what were you doing on a date with Dave?
Excuse me, Dave.
Jordan shits his pants like once a week.
Okay. That's absolutely not true. Not true.
Did you hear that ASMR 2 seconds ago? Like,
As soon as I sat down, my stomach started rumbling again. This happened 3 more times. By the end of it, I was utterly embarrassed and just wanted to disappear. I was pale and sweating. Dave, being the gentleman he suggested we call it a night, I apologized profusely and explained something I ate didn't agree with me. The next day, I sent him a thank you text and apologized without hearing anything back. I'm sure that the date ruined our future plans.
I hate duty talk, and if that was me, I would have blocked him while I was on the date because I would be so embarrassed.
Grow up.
You might as well at that point just save yourself the embarrassment and then just like totally disappear from his life. Like sneak out the back door and fucking leave.
Yeah, just
Like, sorry, Dave. Like, I'm shitting my pants.
I could never ever say that. I don't even like talking about this. It makes me feel sick. Like,
Didn't you have a similar situation with a guy who was shitting his pants basically on a date?
yeah, it wasn't me. He literally like shit his. We had to leave the restaurant. We had just ordered. We were at like a nice steakhouse, and
Did we shout the steakhouse out?
no. And he was like, I don't know what's going on. Like I said, my stomach is turning. And so we left and we were driving and he's like, you got to pull over. You got to pull over right now.
Oh my God.
And then he disappeared from the car for like 25 minutes. And I was thinking like, oh, this guy's really trying to get out of this date. And like he came back and he was like flush and like white and sweaty.
What's with these and their open pooping policy?
I don't know.
I think it's natural.
And I'm not here for it.
I mean,
And
with teammates and roommates, fine. But like,
I don't want to
don't
smell
know.
your duty. You do for sure.
What? I don't fart just to fart.
you fart in front of your girls though, hey?
No.
Yeah, you do. You've
No.
told me stories.
Like, if I got to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't like
But you won't step out of the room?
You mostly always have to do it.
No. If
You
I don't-
farted like at least 15 times since you've been on this couch.
Well, no.
Case, Kate, close
George.
to 15.
Close to fit.
2.
No.
2?
Are you literally crazy?
Maybe you don't even notice. I was taught.
Sorry, we pounded back like 7.
The coach was vibrating.
No. All right. This,
Anyways, yeah, I don't know what these guys are eating, but you got to stop.
And just stop being so honest about it. Just power through the date. Take your dump, power through the date. And if you got to go again, just go again.
Yeah, I was hanging out with this guy. He's like, I just got to go take a shit. I was like, okay.
He said that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I would never.
And I was just like, oh,
Just like,
okay.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
It's a good thing I have brothers because I don't care.
Yeah.
But like, I don't need to know.
Yeah. I'm not even open about it with like people I'm in a relationship with. I'm not like, oh, I'm going to go just squeeze out a dump. You know, like I'm not saying that. I'm not fucking saying I got to go take a shit. I'm just like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or hey, I got to go to the bathroom and make it quick and just fucking.
And then just say, don't go in there.
Yeah. Or spray a little Febreze and.
Just don't go in there for a bit.
This is obviously very delayed, but we haven't had a chance to talk between us about Vanderpump. I have some notes about the reunion, and I want to get your thoughts.
It was a great season, and it had a little twist to the end. I liked how they didn't see the final scene until they all watched it together.
I love that.
And I really love how Lala just sticks to her guns, and she's just a badass.
Such a badass. These are my notes I took. Lala, fire flames. She's reasonable, rational, but tough. Ariana, not seeing any of the season is just, what the fuck are you doing? This is your job.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're coming to the reunion with absolutely no facts. Lala and Katie, so much happened off camera, which obviously explains their drama on camera. Katie complained about Ariana off camera and then denying it and just being a bitch to Lala on camera because she didn't want to address it.
Katie is the worst.
It just seems like
such a fucking nightmare of a human.
Yeah, she's brutal. It just seems like they're all just past. I really hope they have bigger, better things that they're going on to because I'm sure they're being paid a shit ton of money, especially this season. I love how Lala exposed them all because, yeah, like it's your job.
This is your job. Yeah.
It's your job to be on TV and to expose your life. And if you're going to be doing different things outside of it, then
Don't do reality TV.
yeah, don't do reality TV.
Katie ate Joe alive. I felt so sad for her. I felt sad for her in general. And the fact that Tom Schwartz wouldn't even acknowledge what they had was a relationship and just completely demoralizing her in front of everyone.
I felt really bad for her.
I felt so sad for her.
Yeah, I felt bad for her. Katie, when she ripped her apart, it was just so bad.
Yeah, and Tom Schwartz is just such a fucking little weasel. He just has no backbone at all.
No.
Zero.
He's just trying to please everyone, and it just doesn't work. When you try and please everyone, it does not work. He wants to be liked by everyone. He wants everyone to just see him as this, but he doesn't have an opinion to himself.
No. Fart
He's
in the
like,
wind.
he is the exact opposite of Lala. Mm-hmm. Like, they are literally polar opposites.
Yeah.
The fact that they even get along a little bit is bizarre.
And he was like kind of into it when Andy was like, you guys should go on a date. My last note is just Allie and James are absolutely the best couple on reality TV. I
Yeah,
love
they're killing
her.
it.
James
He's
is the
killing
best.
it.
He's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really turned a corner.
The first 2 seasons with him,
Sobriety.
Oh my God.
Sobriety.
I
Him
wanted to
and
kill him.
Lala. My
Yeah.
favorite characters. They're both sober.
Love it. Literally love them. That's that.
All right.
I think that's all she wrote.
I think that is all she wrote.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode, and we will see you later.
Sayonara,
Sydney
Sydney Stefan.
Stefan. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to do a huge giveaway when we get to 1,000 followers. So please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your mom. I'm literally sweating my ass off.
I don't even have socks on and my freaking feet are sweating. Ooh, John's getting them off. Oh, James too. With those feet freaks.
Got to pay for that.
Oh, these little savages. Ooh.
Should we introduce our friend on the couch here, or?
You can see my dog. Her name's Koa.
She's 9 years old. She's a Bichon Shih Tzu.
She's 10
She's a
years
show
old.
dog.
She's a Pom Yorkie.
Where did Jory go?
I don't know, to take a shit.
Okay.
He wants to go hang out with his school friends.
School? School?
Hockey fan.
Talking about school, Steve?
We're going to do ASMR.
No, we're not.
As Jory does it back.
You're disgusting. You hear that?
You want some ASMR? Well, I'll give you some ASMR.
This is Jesus Christ. I can't even think. I'm trying to go through the
Thank
notes
God
here.
the mics are like tailored to us.
Yeah. Everyone has their own.
Jordan's not
otherwise-
gonna have pink eye. No shit, you have pink eye.
Yeah.